Drawing realistic hair can be quite frustrating. Now, these are some works I made 6 or 7 years ago, and these are some works I made recently. So, how did I transition from creating mediocre works to slightly less mediocre, if you will? The reason you struggle is because you do not yet have a step-by-step blueprint to follow to get the desired results. Now, the first step is drawing the darkest values. And as you can see here, I start with a medium charcoal pencil. And the reason I'm using medium first is because I like to layer my values from like least darkest to darkest. It creates for like a more even transition and a smoother application. So in this case, I'm just drawing the strokes in the directions that they would follow depending on the part of the hair that I'm drawing, and I'm slightly raising the pressure as I move away. It's like I'm flicking up. So now I'm using a soft charcoal pencil to just go over it again, and eventually I'm going to use extra soft generous charcoal just to give it that really dark and deep tone. So at this point, I'm drawing the actual lock of hair, and as you see, I usually start from the two opposite sides and draw towards the middle. So I try to take my strokes and I flick them up as I approach the highlight. So it's darkest at the outermost edges and the lightest in the middle. Notice how I kept my strokes close together throughout the entire process. Now at this point, I'm using a blending stone to just feed in the details I already drew earlier, the shades. And this will give me a blended and smooth finish. And I'm not really going easy on the highlights here. Like, I'm not scared to blend the highlights out a bit because I know I'm going to like go over it again with Tombo eraser. So I just replicate this process for the rest of the hair, and I'll put this on a time lapse so you can see. Now at this point, I'm drawing the baby hairs, and this is such a vital step as it creates realism. It's important to keep your strokes really light because the hair at the forehead region is very, very light, so you shouldn't really be going dark like this. The most important thing here is really just varying the pressure you apply so you can get the required results. So at this point, I take my Tombo eraser and I just start creating highlights in the hair. This is such a vital part, as this is the actual part where we start creating texture. So we don't create texture by shading, we create texture by erasing. Interesting. Now for the next step, in order to make our highlights pop a bit more, we're going to go over them with a white charcoal pencil. So the white charcoal pencil will give us the really shiny highlights, which are so vital. We also reinforce some of the flower strands, but not along the entire length, only certain parts that stick out the best. And I actually went a little bit too crazy with this, but later on I rectified it by going over it again with the charcoal pencil. So there's the beauty of the charcoal medium. You can definitely manipulate it if you know what you're doing. So I just continue with the detailing process here, as you can see. And at certain points, I actually do wet my charcoal, my white charcoal. And the point of doing this is so I can get a paste which allows me to get even brighter and sharper highlights, which is sometimes necessary to really create that contrast that you need. So there you have it. If you follow these steps, you're definitely well on your way to transforming the look of your drawings.